You're watching Como News.
The race for the White House, too close to call right now. President Trump and Joe Biden are neck and neck in several states. President Trump falsely claiming victory overnight, even though ballots are still being counted at this hour. Biden speaking early this morning, urging Americans to remain patient. So here is where the race stands right now. Joe Biden has 238 electoral votes, while President Trump has 218. The candidate reaching 270 electoral votes wins the election.
And we're taking it live inside the King County Election Service Center, where workers will be counting ballots all day long. The historic turnout playing out here and, of course, nationwide, when all the votes could be finally counted.
And Election Day demonstrations at home and across the country. Hundreds of protesters taking to the streets in Los Angeles overnight. Here in Seattle, police arresting at least 8 people involved in protests. Despite scenes like you're seeing on your screen, the streets are calm this morning as a nation waits for final results. We have a lot to unpack as those results continue to update throughout the morning right here.
Yeah, we have live team coverage of the biggest races and the record-breaking turnout underway. We want to start with Como's Denise Whitaker with the very latest on the presidential race. Good morning, Denise.
Good morning. This race absolutely still too close to call right now in 7 states: Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Nevada, Georgia, and Arizona, a state that President Trump won 4 years ago. But right now, Joe Biden is surprisingly leading in Arizona. Elections workers across the country at their machines right now counting ballots. Wisconsin could finish its counting by the end of today. Michigan still has more than 3 million absentee ballots to count, and Pennsylvania may not finish its tally until Friday. That state received a record number of absentee ballots that, if postmarked by yesterday, must arrive by Friday to be counted, though President Trump's already suggesting those ballots not be counted.
I anticipate throughout the day today, you're going to see significant numbers of votes being put into the system. So the public will be able to see those numbers change and rise and go up and down. The bottom line is, we're going to make sure here in Pennsylvania that we respect the will of the people. We're going to get an accurate count. It's the law.
They're winning in Georgia. They're winning in North Carolina. They're winning in Pennsylvania. They're winning in Michigan right now. So if you're the White House, my view would be, let's get the votes counted and see where all this lands. Because right now, based upon the states where you're winning, you'll win the election.
But already, before any winners have been declared, there are already some calls for recounts. Now, in some cases, those recounts will be automatically generated by the state. That usually happens when a margin's about half of a percentage point or so. But they can also be requested by a candidate. And those recounts can be done either by machine or by hand, which could take additional time.
At the live desk now, let's take you live to the U.S. Capitol. A live look to bring you right now. It is not going as expected for Democrats and the balance of power in Congress. Instead of taking over the Senate, Democrats are still trailing Republicans for control, 45 seats to 47, with several races still outstanding. Democrats spent a lot of money hoping to unseat Senator Lindsey Graham in South Carolina, but Democrat Jamie Harrison fell short. Democrats will remain in control in the House, but they did lose a few seats to Republicans.
All right, Election Day itself may be in the rearview mirror, but there is still so much up in the air this morning. Joining us live is Como political analyst and CEO of Strategies 360, Ron Dodsauer. Ron, thanks for joining us. Why don't you break down some of your thoughts on just how close this presidential race is becoming, and any reaction to some of those latest vote tallies you're starting to see this morning?
Yeah, it's another nail biter, right? And so we felt for some time that this race was going to come down to 3 states, maybe plus 1. And those 3 states were Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. And the day after the election, here we are, and those 3 states hold the balance in the outcome, generally speaking. Arizona was also considered one of those states that could make a difference. So it looks like Arizona is probably going to go in Biden's column. I think AP called that this morning. So we're back down to those 3 states. There's millions of ballots to be counted in this election by these 3 states. And so my urging is everybody just kind of stay calm, wait till those ballots are counted, and then we'll have a better idea. It'll probably be done here in the next, 2 or 3 days, and we'll have a much better idea how this is going to look.
Yeah, this morning already we've seen lead changes, we've seen margins narrow and widen, so a lot going on, a very fluid situation. Overnight, President Trump said that some states should, quote, stop counting votes. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's a very unfortunate statement because people took a lot of their time in a COVID environment to go out and vote. Long lines across America for people wanting to vote. And every single person that's eligible to vote and cast a vote, it should be counted. You don't just stop counting because it's 8 o'clock on Election Day. You count all the ballots that have been cast and the legal votes. So I think that's exactly what's going to happen. So rhetoric aside, again, it's an unfortunate statement, in my opinion, on his part. But I believe all the ballots are going to be counted, and then we're going to know who the winner is.
All right, we'll keep eyes on it. Ron, thank you so much. We'll have more live analysis on the election results, including the governor's race here in our state. We'll check back in with you coming up at 6:30. Thank you.
And Kelly, speaking of the governor's race, Jay Inslee making history overnight, winning his 3rd term. Governor Inslee leads Republican challenger Lauren Culp with nearly 60% of the vote. It would make Inslee just the 2nd governor in state history to be elected to a 3rd consecutive term. But this morning, Inslee's challenger Lauren Culp is not conceding that race. Como's Theron Zahn is live in Seattle with reaction from both sides to the results so far. So, Theron, what can you tell us?
Yeah, the governor says that the voters have handed him another 4 years in office and also a mandate on his policies. But Republican Lauren Culp says more votes need to be counted. Winning the governor's mansion again would make Jay Inslee just the 2nd governor in state history to be elected to 3 consecutive terms. The presumptive winner says the voters have decided to continue on the current path of battling the coronavirus outbreak. He also says the results are a clear endorsement of his agenda.
We have a mandate tonight to fight climate change, to take action against climate change. We have a mandate tonight to fight the COVID pandemic, based on the scientific principles that we embrace. And we intend to act on that mandate because Washingtonians deserve no less. I'm committed to that.
He has been criticized by Republicans for his mask mandate and the closing down of the economy over COVID-19. This morning, his challenger Lauren Culp is not conceding the race. He held a rally last night in Tenino. Culp says the results so far are incomplete. He and his supporters are relying on a red wave from rural counties.
We are not conceding. We are going to let everyone's voice be heard and every vote be counted. The good news is that King County has already counted about 80% of their ballots.
Some supporters told us they are disappointed that current results say Governor Inslee will stay the governor.
Heartbreaking. Sad that Washington State doesn't see that we need a change.
Well, the governor says that he's not just going to be celebrating a victory today. He's also going to be keeping a close eye on the streets in cities like Seattle because we don't know the results of the presidential election yet. But again, we're waiting for another release of votes this afternoon. They'll give us a more clear idea of his lead if it is maintained.
All right. Also this morning, it is Democrat versus Democrat in the lieutenant governor's race. Denny Heck left his seat in Congress and is now leading State Senator Marco Elias with 58% of the vote. Incumbent Lieutenant Governor Cyrus Habib is not seeking re-election. A contentious statewide referendum is deciding whether school districts will be required to teach age-appropriate sex education to all students. Right now, the measure is passing with 60% of the vote. This is the first time a sex ed requirement has appeared on a statewide ballot anywhere in the country. Election night protests in Seattle ending with at least 8 arrests. One of those arrests happening on the Denny overpass at I-5. Police say the arrest came after a second group joined a mostly peaceful Black Lives Matter protest. SPD says the arrest involved several issues, including assault on an officer, criminal mischief, and obstruction. Police say one person was arrested for vandalism.
And at the live desk, there were also protests in Portland. A live look at the Rose City to bring you right now. Early this morning, a group of protesters gathered outside the Justice Center and chanted Black Lives Matter. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office said the group dispersed several hours later. New video into the live desk now. Another group of protesters marched on Portland streets overnight. They started and ended at Portland's Revolution Hall. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office estimated there are about 300 people in this group of marchers, which was peaceful.
Well, we will have more election results throughout the morning right here on KOMO News. You can also check that full list of state and local races at KOMOnews.com. And if you want to get election alerts sent right to your phone, download the free KOMO News app.
Okay, now to meteorologist Kristen Clark with a weather quickcast and feeling a little wet outside again.
Yeah,
Kristen.
but at least it's mild outside. That's the good news. And you're going to notice it once you step outside. It's slightly muggy outside. Dew points are in the upper 50s, making it feel a little bit humid. And we are tracking light showers as we wake up this morning, especially across Central Sound, stretching into Seattle, into Bellevue. Fairly dry, Olympia, Shelton, all the way into Tacoma. But as you move onto the I-90 corridor, this is where it's raining very lightly, even up at the higher elevations of Snoqualmie Pass, and maybe some steadier showers banked up against the foothills here of Snohomish County. And very little rain if you're traveling northbound on I-5 into the Marysville, Arlington area, all the way into Whatcom County there in Bellingham. But temperatures currently 61, Tacoma, Centralia, 60 for Seattle. Yeah, a little mild out there this morning, a trend that will continue throughout the afternoon with highs in the low 60s, which is about 5-10 degrees above normal for this time of the year. But the breeze is going to start to kick up tonight into tomorrow with the arrival of yet another storm on Thursday that brings periods of steadier rain. But behind that storm, it really starts to get colder this weekend. Highs are expected to be in the 40s. Come Saturday and Sunday, the winter jacket's going to feel good, it looks like, and that's a good 5 to 10 degrees below normal heading into the weekend. We're going to talk more about this upcoming storm on Thursday coming up in the full forecast.
Time is 6:09. Voter turnout reaching record highs.
The morning drop of mail-in ballots just got here to the King County Elections Office. How many there are and what that means for the county reaching that expected 90% voter turnout rate.
And we're looking live over Washington, D.C. The race for the White House neck and neck between President Trump and Joe Biden. Live team coverage as the ballots continue to be counted. That's next.
Save $500 now at bathfitternw.com or 888-NEW-BATH.
I'm Glenn Phillips. All too often, insurance companies try to pressure accident victims into settling quickly. Please don't sign anything until you talk to Phillips Law. Call us at 1-800-JUSTICE. Phillips Law, justice for you.
This isn't our first flip. And sure, some renovations can require a bit of compromise. But there's no settling here. At Floor & Decor, she gets to fulfill her vision while I get in-stock products at budget-friendly prices. All in one trip. Plus, we get the installation materials we need to get it done right and right on time. It's a win-win. Now that's shopping like a pro.
Explore Floor & Decor in person or online at flooranddecor.com.
Meet the new DQ Loaded A1 Steakhouse Burger. Stacked with thick-cut bacon, crunchy onion rings, and 2 premium steak sauces. A1 thick and hearty steak sauce and a creamy peppercorn sauce. All piled high on top of 2 100% real beef patties. This is one burger that needs 2 hands. The new DQ Loaded A1 Steakhouse Burger. DQ, happy tastes good.
Welcome back to the Emerald Queen Casino. It has everything you've been waiting for. Because we care, we've added plexiglass partitions. Sanitation stations and temperature checks surround the casino. To keep you healthy, machines are continuously cleaned. So sit back and win big. We've got you covered. How's that for safety? Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Health insurance you can count on doesn't have to be expensive. With Ambetter, you get reliable coverage. They offer plans with low premiums, low deductibles, and low copays. And since 9 out of 10 Ambetter members qualify for subsidies to reduce their premiums, you could end up paying less than $100 a month. Now, that's better. See how much you can save. Check out Ambetter today.
You can't get any more northwest than the Olympic Peninsula.
Time right now is is 6:13, and let's take you live to Pennsylvania this morning. Here is that live look coming in on one of our live channels. Election workers are counting ballots right now. Again, a live look to bring you from Philadelphia. Pennsylvania voters turned out in large numbers yesterday, leaving a mountain of ballots that will have to be counted in the coming days. And as Denise mentioned, Pennsylvania may not finish its tally until Friday. That state received a record number of absentee ballots that, if postmarked by yesterday, must arrive by Friday to be counted. This state does have 20 electoral votes up for grabs.
And right now, thousands of ballots are showing up at election offices to be counted today.
King County just got their first mail drop of the day. Como's Lee Stoll is live at the King County Elections Office with how that could change voter turnout rates. Lee?
Yeah, good morning. I just got an update from the Chief of Staff. I wrote those numbers down as fast as I could because there are a couple of changes to get through. Favorite part of the election process for me underway right now, this sorting machine, several ballots to go through right now. We did just get this update. They got about 4,000 ballots in the 6 a.m. mail delivery this morning. That is much lower than what they got at this point in 2016 because many voters use those drop boxes this year. Right now, King County voter turnout is right at 84%. They would need about 100,000 more ballots to reach that predicted turnout of 90%. In comparison, Whatcom, Chelan, Clark, Columbia, San Juan, they're on a growing list of counties with returns well over 80%. Statewide turnout is at 77.4%. That's nearly 13% higher than where we were at this point in 2016. And since that time, we have added more than 610,000 new voters in the last 4 years. Now, King County's next update is at 4 p.m. this afternoon. We do expect voter turnout to go up, but they are going to need, again, about 100,000 more votes to get close to that 90% mark. Jefferson County right now, they're the closest at over 86%. And just to let you know, they got about 43,000 ballots in yesterday in order to count. So that just lets you know what they're kind of expecting for the day ahead. Tens of thousands of votes that can be counted even in one day to kind of get to that 100,000 ballot mark that they're trying to get to. And from 2016, they had ballots that were still coming in even 10 days after the election. So at this point, we don't think it's going to change any of the races, just bragging points, again, for the ballot returns. If we really can get to that 90% mark in King County, we're getting close. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Lee. Give me a live look at the roads. This is I-5 and East McKinley Way through Tacoma. That is a slow slog as you're headed northbound along Interstate 5. Let's take a look at our traffic maps right now. And you can see that area. That is a usual hotspot, so that's nothing unusual. Also a little bit slow heading up 167 through the Puyallup area. Let's head up to the North Sound region right now and see how that's looking right now. Looking pretty good through Marysville and Everett. Looks like there's a bit of a hiccup as you head down to that 405 interchange right now. So let's take a look and see what's happening right there. According to the traffic map, very slow traffic on the right-hand shoulder block due to an accident on I-5 southbound at 164th Street, so southwest. So keep that in mind as you're going through that area. Heading into the central area, downtown Seattle, still a little slow. I-405 heading up the Renton S curves and up the Kennydale Hill. A little slow going this morning. All clear through the floating bridges right now, and giving a wider look at the Puget Sound region. Not looking too bad this morning, but do have a few hiccups here and there. And also, you want to keep this in mind as we add the radar. We do have rain in the forecast, and so that's going to impact your morning commute with those wet roads.
Yes, Ryan, we are still tracking light showers today, but not quite as heavy nor as widespread as what we saw, say, yesterday on our Election Day soaker. But here's a live look at the Doppler radar, still showing an abundance of showers across the higher elevations. It is plain old rain for our mountain passes this morning, and also a little pocket of light rain extending into Central Sound, Belfair, all the way into Seattle and Bellevue at the current moment, but dry in South Sound and for much of the northwest interior. There is a warm front lifting north of the area this morning. Cold front sitting just offshore. This warm front kind of stays with us throughout the course of the day, resulting in very mild, if not muggy conditions outside. And while this cold front dissipates, it's going to be enough to keep the shower chance in the forecast today. Again, much lighter rain expected throughout the afternoon, but look at how mild it is. 65, the forecast high in Centralia, 63 in Seattle. You know what the normal high is? 54 on today's day, so a little bit above the normal high for this afternoon. But by 9 o'clock, we see maybe a brief break in some of this rain, especially across across the I-5 corridor. Ongoing light showers for the Cascade Range and the Olympic Mountains. Might start to see a few more of these showers develop by, say, late morning around 11 o'clock. Continuing through about 3 o'clock this afternoon, you notice the green and here in Puget Sound. That's the sign of maybe a few light passing showers throughout the course of the afternoon. But heading into 5 o'clock this evening, you see some of that darker green and some of the yellow showing up near Forks. That is the arrival with yet another renewed cold front. It's from the next weather maker, the last storm in line here this week, showing up nicely on the water vapor satellite. And this storm's going to be moving in tonight and into Friday morning, tapping into some of that rich moisture, subtropical moisture as its origins near the Hawaiian Islands. And that's going to result in some totals here of rain that could easily get close to a healthy half-inch again. That goes for Tacoma, maybe 8300s in Everett, and easily 1 to 2 inches of additional rain across the Olympic Mountains and also the Cascade Range. And it's behind this next storm that we see much colder air arrive. The jet stream for now pretty much west to east, zonal flow as we call it across the country, keeping that cold air bottled up north into Canada. But the dip in the jet stream behind this storm brings in some of that colder air throughout the day Thursday, which will lower snow levels briefly. Thursday afternoon, enough to support maybe a quick inch or two of snow. Stevens, south into Crystal Mountain, White Pass. Very little, if any, accumulation. You notice Snoqualmie Pass Thursday night into Friday morning. By the time the coldest air arrives, a lot of this moisture is out of here with clearing conditions from north to south over the area on Friday. But you notice how it gets colder too, from 63 today to a good 10 degrees cooler on Friday to 50. And then we're spending the days here in the 40s Saturday through early next week. Overnight lows will also be in the 30s. So the heavier winter jacket certainly feeling good outdoors this weekend. And the next potential for rain next week will be late Monday into Tuesday.
And at the live desk now in the race for the White House, we've got some new numbers coming in. CNN is reporting Joe Biden ahead in Michigan. We're digging into this right now. Michigan does have 16 electoral votes up for grabs in the state. Again, CNN reporting Biden ahead in Michigan. We're back right after this quick break.
Real answers in real time. Get the Como News app now. Seattle Refined. Weekdays at 3 on Como 4.
The insurance adjuster was nice after my car accident. Said that he'd take care of me. I thought I could trust him. Turns out, I was wrong. He tried to get me to sign a settlement for $450, even though I owed thousands of medical bills. So I called Bernard Law Group. It was the right call. Instead of $450, they settled my case for $99,000. Bernard Law Group is a good call.
Bernard Law Group, 800-690-1000. Why settle for less?
Goli, the world's first apple cider vinegar gummies, make being healthy simple.
Goli makes weight loss simple.
All day energy simple.
Jim, want some cake?
No, thank you. Cutting cravings simple.
And it's simply delicious.
Healthy doesn't have to taste bad. In fact, with Goli, it's actually delicious.
Visit Goli.com/TV to get 10% off plus free shipping.
Not that kind of roof. This kind of roof. State Roofing has been in the business of roofing for over 50 years, with more than 60,000 projects completed and some of the best warranties in the industry. And now they're having their famous 000 sale, where you can get zero money down, zero interest, and zero payments on your new roof for 1 full year. Estimates are free. Go online to stateroofing.com to get started today.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
If you live in Washington and don't have dental benefits, listen to this important message.
I know how important it is for my patients to maintain their dental health. That's why I'm so pleased Delta Dental has plans for individuals and families designed to fit your budget.
Your dentist may already be part of our network. You'll have a choice of Delta Dental individual and family plans that cover exams, cleanings, fillings, crowns, and more. So call now.
Call 844-SMILE-10. Call now.
Reward yourself in a big way at Little Creek Casino Resort. It's easy to take advantage of all we have to offer by being a member of the most rewarding club in the Northwest. Our Resort Rewards members get more points, more rewards, more choices, more memorable experiences. Visit the Players Club or little-creek.com to see what more is waiting for you. Go a little, get more at Little Creek Casino Resort.
Como News is brought to you by Little Creek Casino Resort.
Time right now is 6:23. When it came to ballot initiatives, many Americans voted green. The Associated Press says voters in 5 states have approved measures to legalize medical or recreational marijuana or both. Voters in Arizona, New Jersey, Montana, and South Dakota voted to legalize recreational marijuana for people ages 21 and older, joining 11 other states and Washington, D.C. South Dakotans also approved a measure to establish a medical marijuana program in the state for individuals with a debilitating medical condition.
You can get the latest election results straight to your phone by downloading the Como app. The app gives you real-time traffic, weather, and breaking news alerts. If you commute by bus or light rail, you can even watch all of our local newscasts from any smart device. Just find the Como app in your favorite app store.
Time is now 6:23. You're looking live over Washington, D.C. We still have a long way to go before an official winner is declared in the race for the White House. Live coverage from Capitol Hill when we come back.
Next live, Chris O'Donnell, Darius Rucker, co-host of the CMAs, and comfort food.
I took a donut and I squeezed it into my hands and I rubbed it on my back.
Live today at 9 on Como 4. Protesters blocking traffic and you're stuck.
You're legally on the freeway.
Como News reveals threats worse than a delayed commute.
Well, my biggest concern is getting my patient to the hospital.
Dangerous demonstrations. Tonight at 11 on Como News.
Don't miss Rich's anniversary sale. Massive once-a-year savings on everything. Save up to 1/3 off fireplaces, inserts, and stoves. Featuring Low-Pi and Fireplace Extraordinaire. Installed before Christmas. Sale ends Sunday at Rich's.
Today's ways of working may work differently tomorrow. But you can work out anything with Comcast Business. Get fast, reliable, and secure internet on the nation's largest gig speed network. Flexible tools like Wi-Fi you control. Voice solutions that connect you from anywhere. And expert advice. Here, or even here. Be fast, be flexible, bounce forward with Comcast Business. Get started with a powerful internet and voice solution for just $64.90 a month. Plus, for a limited time, ask how to get a $200 prepaid card. Call or go online today.
From the moment they're born, we do all we can to protect them. We pad them up and clip them in. We prepare them for the road ahead. And somewhere between the sports and driving lessons, we think about life insurance.
What do you think?
But then we think it's too complicated or too expensive.
Maybe in a few years.
It doesn't have to be. At Thrivent, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. For over 100 years, we've been helping people get the most out of life insurance, like working it into their larger financial strategy and understanding how to take advantage of potential tax benefits and cash value. When you visit Thrivent.com/family, you can talk to a Thrivent financial professional and see why we're one of the highest rated life insurance providers. Because protecting what's important to you is just as important to us. Visit Thrivent.com/family or call 855-303-5328 to get started today. If you can handle life's moments, you can handle life insurance.
Stop rodents for good. Rat Slab covers the dirt under your house with a clean, protective surface. No more rats. Blocks bugs, mold, and mildew too. Find out more. Call today or go to ratslab.com.
Watching Como News.
It is just about 6:30 on your Wednesday morning, everyone. If you're a little bit farther north area, say just north of the shoreline area between Shoreline and Everett, actually, we have a problem out on our roads right now. This is I-5 at Ashway Park and Ride. This is the view here. Give you a look at our maps right now. Even though that is off to the side, there's still some buildup of traffic. What we are learning is that there's slow traffic going through after they tried to clear this earlier problem at I-5 southbound at 164th Street Southwest. All lanes have reopened. That's the good news. But you can see some of that backup stretching up through southbound I-5. Slow going northbound 167 up into northbound 405 as you go through from Renton to the Newcastle area. You're also going slowly through South Seattle northbound on I-5 through the downtown core over the Ship Canal Bridge.
And some changes in the short-term forecast between now and Friday. Today, lighter showers, but a period of some steadier rain late tonight into Thursday morning can be expected. And snow levels are going to start to lower a bit with the arrival of colder air Thursday afternoon. Won't be much snow, maybe a quick inch, for example, Stevens Pass. Conditions begin to clear on Friday, but it does get cooler from 63 today to just a high of 50 by Friday.
At the live just now, we're keeping a very close eye on Michigan this morning, where the presidential race is so close. Right now, Joe Biden has 49.4% of the vote, President Trump with 49.1%. Now, this is being reported by the Associated Press with 94% of votes in. Michigan has 16 electoral votes up for grabs in this state.
Developing now, we may have reached the finish line of this presidential race, but it is far from over.
Yeah, that race is so close. There's still no official winner of the 2020 presidential election. National correspondent Christine Frizzell picks up our coverage from Capitol Hill.
All right, well, we told you it would come down to a handful of states in this election, and that it has. Now, some of these have already been decided. So basically what it comes down to, Nevada, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia will be the ones to decide who spends the next 4 years in the White House.
From sun up to sun down, they came out in droves to cast their ballots and make their voices heard.
This is easy. They made it really simple.
What those voters' voices have told us so far is this nation is still very divided. A Democratic landslide predicted by some didn't come, with President Trump winning many of the same states he did 4 years ago, including Florida. Throughout the night, much of the country tuned in, a nation on edge. As far as answers, the U.S. House of Representatives will remain in the hands of Democrats, and the Senate will likely remain Republican, with a few incumbents in close races pulling it off, like Iowa's Joni Ernst and South Carolina's Lindsey Graham.
Here's the message I got. People like what I'm doing, and I'm going to keep doing it.
Both candidates opting to speak to the nation before the official results.
It's not my place or Donald Trump's place to declare who's won this election. That's the decision of the American people.
The citizens of this country have come out in record numbers. This is a record. There's never been anything like it to support our incredible movement.
Now, we should say in that same speech, President Trump declared victory and also mentioned going to the Supreme Court to, quote, get the voting to stop. The voting, of course, did stop when the polls closed. It's just that some of those votes are still being counted. Reporting in Washington, Christine Frizzell. Now back to you.
And we're also tracking several congressional races this morning. The first district covers much of the North Sound communities. Looks like incumbent Democrat Susan Delbene won re-election, defeating Republican Jeffrey Beeler 61 to 39%. In District 2, covering Island County and the San Juans, Democrat Rick Larson won re-election over Republican Timothy Hazeo with 66% of the vote.
Let's get you to the 3rd congressional district right now. This covers Southwest Washington. Republican Jamie Herrera Butler is leading Democrat Carolyn Long by nearly 9%. On the Olympic Peninsula, incumbent Congressman Derek Kilmer easily landed a 5th term after jumping far in front of Republican challenger Elizabeth Krushmeyer for Washington's 6th congressional district.
New results coming in for District 7, centered in Seattle. Incumbent Democrat Pramila Jayapal won re-election with 85% of the votes, defeating Republican Craig Keller. And in District 8, first-term Democrat Kim Schreier has a 54% of the vote, while Republican Army veteran Jesse Jensen has about 46%.
Results now show incumbent Adam Smith has won his bid for re-election in the state's 9th congressional district. He beat out Republican Doug Bassler, currently about 76 to 24%. Congressional races all across the state were on the ballot this year, and this morning some races are still very tight as we wait for more vote totals to be released. Kamos Theron Zahn live in Seattle with what the candidates are saying. Theron?
Yeah, all 10 of our state's congressional seats were up for grabs in this election, and the only open seat was in the 10th district. That is where Denny Heck left that seat open to run for lieutenant governor. This morning, some congressional races are still pretty tight. In District 10, it's a Democrat running against a Democrat. We talked with former Tacoma Mayor Marilyn Strickland about her double-digit lead. She says her first priority in Congress would be the pandemic.
We're not going to have a full and sustainable economic recovery until we address COVID in a meaningful way. And especially in Washington state, because a lot of our economy depends on tourism. That's people feeling safe, getting on airplanes, staying in hotels, eating in restaurants, and just seeing what the state has to offer.
Another race we've been watching closely is District 8, which in the past has been split down the middle. Right now, first-term Democrat Kim Schreier is ahead. We talked with both candidates about the early numbers.
Well, it feels good. You know, the 8th district is just a tough district. It is the only truly purple district in the state. We saw that with the primary results, and it's always going to be an uphill battle for a Democrat to win in this seat. So I think that having 54% at this point is a really good sign.
We saw anecdotally and heard from our voters that, a lot of folks on the Republican side were going to wait until day of or, the last couple of days before. And we saw those numbers closing the gap. So again, we feel very good about where we are coming out of the first results tonight.
Both candidates say it's critical every ballot is counted. One of the closest races in our state is in the 3rd congressional district in Southwest Washington. Republican Jamie Herrera Butler is fighting to hold on to her seat. Democrat Carolyn Long is trying to flip it blue. Right now, Butler is in the lead by 9%. This is a rematch. Long lost to Butler in 2018. And supporters in all of these races are going to be watching this afternoon. That's when the next batch of numbers comes out, and we'll see then if any of these races change.
All right, thanks, Theron. And Washington voters electing Jay Inslee to a 3rd term as governor. Inslee with 59% of the vote to 41% for Republican challenger Lauren Culp. That is a difference of more than 600,000 votes. Inslee calling the vote a mandate on climate change and his COVID-19 policies.
They made a decision to continue on the path of progress, to continue to follow and honor science, to continue to defeat the COVID pandemic, and continue to be committed to building a more resilient economy.
Republican challenger Lauren Culp yet to concede the race despite that large gap. Here's what he said to supporters during a rally in Thurston County.
We are not conceding. We are going to let everyone's voice be heard and every vote be counted.
Inslee says the vote shows support for his approach to fighting the coronavirus, despite some criticism over the shutdown of the state's economy and the mask mandate. So what exactly is it about Governor Inslee that resonated with voters?
All right, we want to bring in Como political analyst and Strategies 360 CEO Ron Dotzauer. Ron, why do you think that Inslee has scored so high with Washington voters?
Well, first, it's a very steep hill to climb to get elected to a 3rd term as governor. It's only been done once previously. And as an incumbent, there's really the vote is a referendum on your policies, your programs, and how you've managed the state. And pretty clearly, the voters in Washington state are extraordinarily comfortable with Governor Inslee's approach to governance in Washington state, if you will. By almost 60% or around 60% vote, that's a very resounding number. And it really gives him a boost, if you will, going into the January legislative session.
So what is your takeaway overall from how state voters reacted to this election?
Well, they continued a very blue vote. I mean, the Democrats did well again across the state. Every statewide incumbent except the treasurer was reelected. So the public's comfortable with their statewide elected officials, as they are. I was really pleased with a 90% turnout, or close to 90%, which is really the kind of engagement we haven't seen in a long time. So that got me excited as a former county auditor. So it was a really good, clean election, and I think everybody feels good about that. So it was a night for incumbents, and in Washington state, it was a night for Democrats.
All right, Ron, thank you so much for your perspective this morning. We appreciate it. Experts say Governor Inslee's path to a 3rd term was made easier in a state that has become more Democratic over the years. Now, despite the easy victory, KVI Talk Radio's John Carlson sees some challenges for Inslee in his 3rd term.
I think he's going to have some rough sledding in this next session of the legislature. He said, for instance, that he is falling back on the science when it comes to COVID, that science will be driving his decisions. But if that were the case, then the schools would be open.
Carlson went on to cite reports that some scientists have found little evidence so far that reopening schools fuels the spread of the virus, but the evidence is far from conclusive after studies in both the U.S. and Europe.
And we're breaking down more of your election results this morning. Secretary of State's race is a tight one. Republican incumbent Kim Wyman has a slim lead over Democrat Gail Tarleton, 52 to 48%. The offices oversees our state's vote-by-mail election system, which has been under the microscope during this presidential election.
$1.7 billion of a bond measure to make improvements to Harborview Medical Center is passing by an overwhelming majority. That bond measure needs 60% approval to pass, and right now it is far above that at 78%. Harborview is a level 1 trauma center that serves 4 states, and many people say critical upgrades are long overdue. The money money will help to build a new patient tower, a new behavioral health center, and help with renovations and seismic upgrades.
At the live desk now, we are just getting an update out of Wisconsin. In a statement, elections officials said this: counting and reporting of unofficial results has gone according to law. They added our municipal and county clerks have worked tirelessly throughout the night to make sure every valid ballot is counted and reported accurately. Today, they will start the process of triple checking those results. Now, this includes randomly selecting 5% of reporting units for voting equipment audits, which must occur before results can be certified.
We will have more election results throughout the morning right here on KOMO News. You can also check the full list of state and local races at KOMOnews.com. And if you want to get election alerts sent straight to your phone, you can download the free KOMO News app.
Okay, now to meteorologist Kristen Clark with the weather quickcast. Kristen, November feeling like November.
Yeah, November, it is certainly here. It's one of our wettest months typically, actually the wettest month typically out of the entire year. It's living up to its reputation this week, of course, with the rounds of rain that are in our forecast. And still this morning, we are waking up to light rain, not quite as heavy nor as widespread as what we were tracking this time yesterday morning. But if you're waking up in Hood Canal region, anywhere from, say, Port Orchard into Gig Harbor, Vashon Island, raining lightly at the moment. South Sound, relatively dry. As you travel into downtown Seattle, areas of the east side, Maple Valley, Issaquah, Sammamish. In the rain, some of the steadier rain at the moment, just north of Sammamish into Redmond, Duval area, but the roads are wet. 405 northbound I-5 as you travel into Shoreline and even Everett. But as you travel even farther north here, Arlington, Marysville, Burlington, Mount Vernon, relatively void of showers before you hit the Bellingham area, and just tracking a bit of light rain up there in western Whatcom County this morning. And as you step outside, you're going to notice how mild it is, currently holding at 61 in Tacoma with just a slight hint of humidity to the air today. So mild, a bit muggy, as we see daytime highs pretty much hold uniform, upper 50s, low 60s at a time of the year when we typically see highs. Yeah, the normal high is 54. We're going to stay around that through about Thursday, but in comes some much colder air starting Thursday afternoon, taking us down into the 40s for highs for this upcoming Saturday and Sunday.
Well, time is now 6:39, making sure your vote counts.
Want to give you a live look from King County election headquarters, the record number of ballots that workers will be counting all day long, plus how voters are sounding off on 3 major measures in King County. That's next.
KOMO News is brought to you in part by Schick-Shadle Hospital.
With much of our lives on hold during this crisis, we at Hardwick and Pendergast are helping clients remotely to get the help they deserve.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Hardwick and Pendergast. We can help.
Muckleshoot Bingo has gone mad. That's right. On Saturday, November 14th, Muckleshoot Bingo is having a 30-game marathon. That's 30 games, each paying $750. Plus, single winners receive a bonus from the prize board. Any prizes remaining at the end of the session will be given out as hot seat drawings. Buy-ins are $20 for paper 9-ons and $7 for extra 3-ons. Electronic packages will also be available. Don't miss Muckleshoot Madness at Muckleshoot Bingo in Auburn. Your home for Machingo.
How can you keep your gatherings fun and festive and help reduce the risk of COVID? Make a plan. If you can, host your gathering outside. Keep the guest list small. And make sure you have room for everyone to stay 6 feet apart. Don't share food, utensils, or drinks. And of course, wear your masks. Learn more about safer gatherings at coronavirus.wa.gov/gatherings.
I'm astronaut Leland Melvin, and this is my class on Varsity Tutors. 3, 2, 1, liftoff. Your body is just shaking and moving. Things slowly start to float around you. Now you're in space.
With hundreds of free live classes to choose from, learning from home has never been easier or more fun.
Please tell me you're not playing video games.
No, Mom. Still in class.
Ignite their love for learning with free live classes. Reserve a spot at varsitytutors.com.
Hey, this is Travis. And I'm Mike. We're with Black Hills Home Services. Winter weather is just around the corner. Are you prepared? Black Hills Home Services can keep you warm. Check out this deal.
For a limited time, purchase a heat pump from Black Hills and you'll get the furnace absolutely free. This lifesaver of a deal will shield your family from the cold all winter long and keep you nice and cool through summer for years to come.
Call now. Black Hills, the home service superhero.
Let Black Hills save the day with super service in every way.
King County
County Metro is ready when you are with enhanced health and safety measures. We disinfect every vehicle every day, installed safety partitions between drivers and passengers, and require all passengers to wear a mask. A healthier Metro is here. Go to kingcounty.gov/healthiermetro.
Look up crime in real time. Alert Nest on comonews.com.
Time right now is 6:43, and let's take you live to Pennsylvania this morning, where election workers are counting ballots. As you can see on this live channel, there are still 1.4 million absentee ballots still to be counted. The margin of difference between President Trump and Joe Biden currently stands at just over 618,000 votes, with 75% of the state's votes counted. Now, a majority of mail-in ballots, 65%, sent into Pennsylvania were from registered Democrats. Philadelphia state officials are scheduled to brief the press within the hour on the progress of that counting. We do have a live look on where that press conference is expected to start. There's a look at officials right there. Once that gets started, we'll be sure to bring you a live update.
And Holly, these results coming in as we see historic voter turnout here at home and across the country. KOMO's Lee Stoll is live with the process underway at the King County Election Headquarters in Renton. Good morning, Lee.
Yeah, good morning. I'm here with Kendall Hodson, the Chief of Staff for the King County Election Office. You have been giving me a flurry of numbers that have changed even this morning. Where is voter turnout right now, and how many ballots have you seen even come in this morning?
Yeah, we have about 1.184 million ballots in house. That puts us at about 84% turnout. Not a real big mail delivery this morning, so just about 4,000 ballots in the mail, but we also had ballot drop-box driver teams arriving until almost midnight last night. So there's definitely some more ballots to be counted.
And those are the ballots being counted right now through the sorting machine here behind us. Those are those drop boxes and those mail-in ballots.
Absolutely. These are ballots that came in yesterday through drop boxes or in the mail this morning.
Okay. We've been talking a lot about that 90% turnout expectation. Do you think we're going to reach it?
You know, I think we've got about 100,000 more ballots to get there. I'm not sure that we got that yesterday, but we're going to keep counting until we find out.
Even if we don't get to 90%, 84% is pretty close to possibly setting a new record. Could we at least do that?
Yeah, so in 2012 was our most recent high point. That was at about 85% turnout. So we are looking on track to possibly eclipse that, which would be very exciting.
Okay. And we've already heard both sides saying they have lawyers on standby in races that are very close, possibly contacting election officials, seeing where they are. Have you been contacted by any legal authorities by either side?
We have not heard from any lawyers from either side at this point. I think the good news is Washington has such established laws and processes. We're really clear on our results, and they've got a lot of validity here.
All right. And you were saying there are some ballots that you are tracking that might have issues. How many do you have, and how are you resolving those issues?
Yeah, we've got about 12,000 ballots right now where there's some sort of an issue with the voter's signature. They forgot to sign, or it doesn't match the one we have on file. We're going to reach out to those folks by mail, by email if we have it, and we'll call them. They've got lots of time still to resolve it, and we'll get their ballot counted.
And in 2016, looking at the returns, it looks like you were having ballots come in 10 days even after Election Day. Does the count continue until you certify the election?
It does. We certify this election on November 24th. We will keep counting ballots, either those signature issue ballots or ones coming often from out of state, as we receive them. So we've still got some time to count, and we'll certify everything November 24th.
Okay. And when is the next count for you today, and how many ballots do you expect to process possibly by the end of today?
I have no idea how many ballots we're going to process by the end of today, but we will drop again at 4 p.m. today, and it'll be around 4 p.m. every single day until we get to certification.
All right, Kendall, thanks so much. So as you heard, the King County turnout right now at 84%. We just have to break 85% to set a new record. That 90% still in question. The next count that we will see the ballot number changing is going to be at 4 p.m. this afternoon. Back to you.
All eyes on that 4 p.m. count. Lee, thank you. We'll have more election results throughout the morning right here on KOMO News. You can also check the full list of state and local races at KOMOnews.com. If you want to get election alerts sent right to your phone, download the free KOMO News app.
And with those wet roads outside, it's a little bit slow this morning as you're headed up and down the I-405 corridor. This is northbound at 10th Street South. As you see, the traffic moving nice and slow as you're headed northbound right now up the Kennedale Hill. Giving you a live look at the maps right now, you can see that area, and also through downtown Seattle, it is a little bit slow. A couple of incidents I do want to point out this morning. In the Linwood area, you see that little marker, I-5 northbound, or should I say southbound. That accident has cleared, so traffic is now moving along along nice and smooth. And as we head all the way to the south region, slow going past through the Tacoma Dome, but we do also have an accident at 167 and 410. That is in the normal hotspot already, so that's going to impact your morning commute as you're headed northbound up 167.
And certainly the gray rain clouds are a typical sight to see during the month of November. But before the rain arrived yesterday morning, it was quite the sunrise. In fact, Brad shared this picture with us overlooking the Snohomish River on his way to work. He said, yeah, I was late to work. Of course, he had to pull over and take a shot of all that brilliant color of orange and red in the morning sky. Unlike this morning, as we are pretty much in the thick of the rain here this morning, a shower band extending all the way from the Hood Canal through Seattle, all the way along Interstate 90 into Snoqualmie Pass, where it's currently raining at our passes this morning. But outside this band of showers, dry as you travel northbound of Everett and across South Sound as well, despite a few showers here across the Olympic Mountains and, of course, the Cascade Range. There's a warm front lifting north of the area. Nice, mild southerly breeze has developed as a result out ahead of this dissipating cold front offshore. We've had winds here, Everett, Whidbey Island, up to 37 miles per hour already this morning. So the mild breeze continues, and temperatures pretty much stay uniform, upper 50s, low 60s. A little bit of a muggy feel to the air outside today. So we have the showers continuing in the higher elevations, a brief break in some of the rain mid to late morning. After the noon hour, though, here comes some light showers off and on impacting Puget Sound with wet roads here for the afternoon commute. We'll see some pockets of steadier rain, though, emerge along our coast. From the next weather maker, it's the last storm in line this week. It shows up nicely on the water vapor satellite. This is tapping into subtropical moisture, and that's going to help to beef up some of our rainfall totals, a healthy half-inch. That goes for parts of Bellingham and also Tacoma. We could see 1 to 2 inches of additional rain at our highest elevations. Also, the wind is going to pick up once again later on this evening into early tonight. Various parts of our coast and the northwest interior will likely see winds exceeding 30 miles per hour. I mean, there's Bellingham, a gust potentially close to 40 around 6:30 this evening. The breeze stays with us even into tonight. So looking at the forecast here, the extended forecast, we'll go for the light showers today, breezy conditions into Thursday with a period of steadier rain. Then the showers end Thursday afternoon, drying out into Friday and cooling down too. Cold sunshine this weekend with highs in the 40s, below normal temperatures lasting into early next week. And stay with KOMO News. We'll be right back after the break.
Real answers in real time. Get the KOMO News app now.
This is the season we come together and make our own holiday magic. Because a gift for home brings joy to all. Find holiday decorations, gifts, and great deals at Lowe's.com.
If you live in Washington and don't have dental benefits, listen to this important message.
I know how important it is for my patients to maintain their dental health. That's why I'm so pleased Delta Dental has plans for individuals and families designed to fit your budget.
Your dentist may already be part of our network. You'll have a choice of Delta Dental individual and family plans that cover exams, cleanings, fillings, crowns, and more. So call now.
Call 844-SMILE-10. Call now.
Muckleshoot Casino is your destination for more than 3,000 gaming machines, action-packed table games, and the largest smoke-free area in the state. Plus, a newly remodeled casino floor and new center bar. Use your Players Club card to earn points for free play, meals, or cash back. Muckleshoot Casino, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Visit us online to learn more about our safety measures.
Hi, I'm Matthew Cote with Matvey Foundation Repair. Do you have cracks in your walls, sloping floors and doors, and windows that stick? If so, you likely have a foundation problem. At Matvey Foundation Repair, we understand soil issues in the Puget Sound, and we're licensed for pier and foundation work. If you suspect foundation problems, act fast, because the problem will only get worse. Call today for a free inspection, or visit MatveyFoundationRepair.com. Rock built, rock solid.
It's like they were throwing parties at all hours of the day. I couldn't sleep, couldn't think. I just needed them gone. So I called Clean Crawls. They removed and replaced my old insulation, which saved me money on utility bills. Plus, they make sure you get the maximum energy rebates and tax credits.
If you're hearing noises, smelling smells, or your floor is cold, call Clean Crawls for your free no-obligation quote. No interest for 12 months, and only Clean Crawls offers a 10-year workmanship warranty. Clean Crawls, peace of mind for your attic and crawl.
Hey everyone, Cliff Averill. Backed by the strongest warranty in the business, Techline Roofing has you covered. trust TechLine.
Well, we may be waiting for official results of the presidential election, but this morning we're getting a look at some of the major issues just approved in King County. Joining us live is King County Executive Dow Constantine.
Good morning, Dow. Well, right now, the Charter Amendment 5 is passing with 57% of the vote, which would make the sheriff an appointed position. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I never thought the sheriff should be an elected office, and I do think that this will bring more accountability. This means this is no slight against the current sheriff who was elected, but to have the county executive and the county council responsible for the actions of the sheriff, I think, will ultimately bring the kind of accountability people are demanding in law enforcement.
And finally, Charter 1 involves the hot-button issue over officer-involved deaths, so that's currently passing with more than 80% of the vote. What are your thoughts on this, and how is this going to impact the Sheriff's Department?
Well, we are very much engaged in law enforcement reform and working with our police officers as well as the community to make sure that we avoid avoidable tragedies. And so I think this is going to be one way in which we're able to bring more credibility, more trust on the part of the public in our police officers. I want to thank folks as well for approving King County Proposition 1 to renovate and expand Harborview Hospital, a big win for the people of our region.
Yeah, by an overwhelming majority, too. County Executive Dow Constantine, thanks for joining us this morning. We anticipated being in this position of not having a clear winner for the race for the White House, but the results are closer than many people anticipated.
Yeah, at least 7 states still unable to declare a winner. Como Sees Whitaker's live to show us what they're still counting ballots to reach an outcome.
Right, election workers are up and counting ballots right now in those undecided states. Let me walk you through those 7 battleground states. Still too close to call. Right now, Joe Biden is leading in Arizona. And remember, this is a state that President Trump took 4 years ago. The president, however, is leading right now anyway in Georgia, Michigan, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. And then we move to the last 2. President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden are even right now in Nevada and Wisconsin. So many new issues for voters to consider before choosing their candidate. Former Virginia Senator Barbara Comstock says she feels the Democratic Party went too far to the left.
You know, certainly seniors were concerned with COVID. I think some of the far left policies that sort of became, seemed to be acceptable by this ticket hurt overall.
Record numbers of voters across the country requested mail-in absentee ballots this year, presenting new challenges to those states that aren't used to dealing with them. That's why we're still waiting for the counting. But the clock is ticking right now to get all of those votes counted and for each state to certify its results. Each state uses its own certification deadline. Those certifications must be done in time for each state to then submit its slate of electors. That must be done by December 8th. The Electoral College then meets on December 14th. And with all of the votes counted, we're now learning more about just who voted. Young voters did not turn out as expected. Their numbers right now running about even nationwide as they did in 2016.
And at the live desk now, we have a couple of firsts to tell you about in various races across the country. A live look at the U.S. Capitol to bring you right now. The state of Missouri will, for the first time in its history, have a black woman representing it in Congress after Cori Bush's victory last night. Sarah McBride of Delaware is set to become the first openly transgender state senator in the United States. And at 25 years old, Madison Cawthorn will become the youngest member of Congress in modern history. That is according to U.S. House records.
All right, thanks, Holly. And for more election results, you can just go to ComoNews.com. If you want to get election alerts sent straight to your phone, download the free Como News app.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to have more coverage of all of our election stories unfolding at this hour, starting at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, you can catch us in the live zone in less than 3 minutes from now. And, of course, we'll be right back here for our midday show starting at 11 a.m.
See you then.